Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Mike Gaskins, who is here on behalf of El Toro Water District. President Gaskins, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We're having a good time at this.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes. Well, sometimes Zoom has its challenges, but nonetheless, here we are again, and we are going to talk about water quality. And everyone has been sent in the district a report. So tell me a little bit about what they can find in it.
okay, the water quality report that came out from the district was sent to you from the district about a month ago. You probably all saw it. Some of you read it and some didn't, but that's okay. It's a compilation of data and information from the Metropolitan Water District and from our own local sampling and testing programs. And so it's chock full of information for you. It tells you, one, that the water comes into the district from basically two main sources. One, the Colorado River and Lake Mead, which you were reading about is in crisis. And we and in Metropolitan Water District still have water in Lake Mead. And as the drought continues, Arizona and Nevada are going to have to do some belt tightening, but we don't yet. The other water comes from Northern California through the Metropolitan Water District or supply system, and they come into treatment plants in a couple of different places in Southern California. One is the Dimer plant, which is in Yorba Linda, and then the other is for us, what's called the Baker treatment plant. If the Metropolitan water goes into Dimer, it's treated there and put in the pipelines and we receive it. Other water, the several of us water districts down here, Irvine, Santa Margarita, Bolton, Nagel, purchase water raw, untreated water from Metropolitan, but we have a treatment plant of our own that we all share in that's in Laguna Hills, right up off Serrano Creek. And so our water is treated to very high standards, and it's at least as clean, or I can't say at least as, it's cleaner than most bottled water. And it certainly is cleaner than the water from these bottled dispensers you see in front of grocery stores. Those are, to me, suspicious because there's no continued disinfection of them.
Right. Yeah.
If something got contaminated, it would be there for a while.
Well, yeah, some of that water could settle in some of those pipes, right?
Well, we have in the pipes that are in the the dispenser.
Well, like the dispensaries you were just talking about.
Yep. It could.
Yeah.
And no one knows how long it's been sitting there. And there is a suspicion worldwide. I mean, it's almost a miracle that you can go up to your kitchen sink and produce water that's absolutely safe. There's so many places in the world that you can't do that. You can't drink the water out of the system, which is what the whole bottled water industry.
Right.
And it boggles me that people are willing to pay more for bottled water than they do for a gallon of gasoline.
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of crazy, huh? So talk to me a little bit about the contaminants that could be present in drinking water and what you guys do to help eliminate that.
Well, one of the big ones in the news are PFAS, PFOS, and those are problems that are in districts that have well water. That water can be pumped from groundwater. The Metropolitan water supply does not have PFAS, PFOS in it. And because that's the only place we get water from, we don't have to worry about the PFAS, PFOS that are in some other samples, but it is still a huge issue for the industry as a whole. Other contaminants you can get, there's always the waterborne diseases, and there's a group of bacteria that we generally refer to as coliform bacteria. And they're a warning, it's an easy test to do for the presence or absence of coliform, because if there is coliform present, it's likely that there's fresh fecal contamination of the water. And there might be other bacteria or viruses or even protozoans present in that water because of the fresh contamination. So, but we do a presence absence test for bacteria at 40 different sites in the district. And one of the slides you'll be seeing is the map of the district showing those sample sites where they are. And these sites are sampled once a week, every day, every year. I mean, it's a constant process that we do to assure you that your water is safe to drink.
Right.
We also keep the chlorine levels up to a minimum. We don't want to get it so high that it's unpleasant, that you start smelling chlorine coming out of your tap, which is somewhere around 3 parts per billion, somewhere in there.
Mhm.
Less than a swimming pool.
Yeah.
And but it also helps disinfect the water. Doesn't necessarily sterilize it, but close. But anyway, if you look at that map, it says there were 4 samples taken during the month of whatever month that particular map's from, and the result was absent. Because there were no coliform. Because there were no coliform, there was no reason to go on and do more extensive testing.
Right.
If there were positive coliform, it would be immediately tested again for the presence of E. coli and maybe perhaps even other bacteria.
Right.
Chemically, we don't have a lot of bad chemicals in our water. We don't have arsenic, and we don't have, if there's lead in the water, it's because it's one of the older houses that still has pipes that are welded together or soldered together with lead.
Mhm.
And there is a testing protocol, which is in this particular water quality report, that shows lead testing, but
Right.
it's on a very random basis at lead testing. Copper, a lot of our pipes are copper, so we're getting copper from that. More things dissolve in water than anything else. It's more corrosive, actually, than the most powerful acid. And one of the problems with desalinated water is it's very pure when it comes out of the plant. In fact, it's so pure it can be referred to as being hungry water, and it would actually corrode and cause pinholes in copper because it's, and so what you have to do with that really pure water coming out of desalination is blend it with existing water.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about supply. So do we have enough water supply from both the Metropolitan Water District as well as a water treatment plant if we had an emergency or maybe this drought situation?
This is something that the district and the water industry in Southern California in particular has been doing for quite a few years now. And behind me is the cover of the R6 reservoir, which is our large reservoir. It was originally open with ducks and all kinds of other things swimming in it and pooping in it. So we got covered about 30 or 40 years ago.
Mhm.
And this particular cover's on its 20-year life cycle and about to expire, but you can get an idea of the size of the reservoir by the swimming pools, houses that surround it. This is in Aliso Viejo, Mission Viejo, Margin, a little bit, and you just can't see it.
Yeah.
There's no really place to observe it. But this is more water storage, and we think that with normal usage, if there were an earthquake and our water supply stopped coming into the district, we could survive about 60 days.
Excellent.
But we've also had this other thing that we're right in the middle of right now, the drought. And it is extreme right now. It looks like it's not going to lighten up. The weather reports I've seen, we're looking at a La Nina year again, which is going to be another dry winter.
Yeah.
But Metropolitan has been storing water and working deals with people, and they are pretty sure they can continue to supply Southern California for even another 3, maybe even 4 years of extreme drought.
Good.
So in Southern California, we're in good shape. Northern California always had plenty of water, and so they never made contingency plans for storing water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, good to know we're in pretty good shape, but of course we do want to still save water no matter what and do our practices like we usually do. So I appreciate you spending the time with me. Thank you so much. And of course, if somebody wanted to get this water quality report or if they had any questions about it, they can always contact your customer service, right?
Our customer service is highly skilled and they're there to help you. And if you see me wandering around the neighborhood, you wanna ask a question about water, feel free. I love talking about it. I think the water industry has done more to expand human lifespan than medicine has ever, because we keep diseases from spreading by
Exactly.
treating the water.
Excellent. Excellent.
It's a preemptive strike on disease and the different things like that. So,
Perfect.
okay,
Well, Mike, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time.
we got through this one, and so I look forward to going again. You'll be seeing my colleagues on the board
Okay.
for the next couple of months, and then I'll be back in the winter.
All right. Sounds good. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And we'll be right back after this.